Welcome to Slow Living Diaries. Today I'd like to speak about living more intentionally. I think it's the perfect segue to come off my last video, which was about the art of noticing. One of the things I said in that video is that many of us are living our lives on autopilot. The things that we do, the places that we go, our schedules, the time that we go to sleep, the time that we wake up, it's dictated by the outside world and our commitments and what feels like obligations. And part of this slow living journey is tilting the balance back where we are somewhat still in control of our own time. So today I'd like to start with a very simple question. What is living intentionally? I think it's about living a life of purpose, one that's aligned with your beliefs, your values, your morals, and actively pursuing things aligned with those models, those structures, those foundational parts of who you are, rather than letting your life just happen by default. It's a tricky one because I'm someone who likes to go with the flow, but the flow isn't always the right energy, it isn't the right path. And so that's why I said it's about balance. And so for me, I think as someone who likes to know what they're going to do, know what time they're going to be back, know how I want it to be done, living intentional is great for someone like me. But the balance can also go too much, where you micromanage yourself to the point where you don't get to enjoy the spontaneity of life. And so, well, as we speak about this topic today, please keep balance in the side of your mind. It's not one or the other. But one thing that is for sure is if you do not live intentionally, then the world does decide for you what you like, what you don't like, where you go, how long you should be there. You don't have any kind of framework that supports your own healing journey, that supports where you want to go in your life, that supports your lifestyle of slow living. And so the word purpose came up, living in purpose. The word purpose means why. It's a reason you do something. You see a lot of these motivational speakers and life coaches say, what's your why? That your why should be your motivation, why you get up every day, why you do the things you do. And so if we take the word purpose, it's the reason you do something. It's not the what you are doing. So in that case, keeping it within that context of why you do something, the reason behind your existence, it's personal. We're all different, we all have a different path, we all have different desires and passions and amazing skills, and so none of our journeys will be the same. And so everything I say today, you apply it to your life in a way that fits your life, because my routine is not your routine. And so sticking with the word purpose, I like to live my life from a place of service, because I feel that's my why. I like to help people. I like to share warmth and calmth and nice things, and that's just my individual path. And so what I do is I try to build a life around those values, around those passions that supports that, a life that, feels warm, feels comforting, feels soothing, because I want my life outside to mirror my life inside. I don't want there to be a disconnect where I feel I have to be a different person when I leave my home. I want alignment in all areas of my life, with my work, with my personal life, with my time with my plants, with my time alone. I want it all to be aligned so I can be my truest self in every moment, in any circumstance. For so many years of my life, what I considered a skill, but actually was setting me back, is that I could kind of shape shift who I have to be depending on where I am. So if I'm in a business meeting, I can turn on business mode Steve. If I'm with friends, I can turn on happy and playful Steve and jokey Steve. If I'm working, I can turn on like super focused Steve. And it just felt like I was adapting myself based on my environment and not actually changing my environment with who I am on the inside. And so I wanted to bring my life back into alignment where I can just be me wherever I go, no matter what I'm doing, being my most authentic self. And living intentionally has helped me with that. When you're intentional, it allows you to prioritize the things that matter to you, not matter to other people, matter to you. And so in my case, my work is so important to me. I don't treat this just like, hey, I'm on social media, everyone look at me. I care about the people who are reading my work. And so that starts before I post anything. That starts with how I live my life, the things I do to prepare when I'm writing. Even a video like this, the work that leads up to it is because I care. And so in that, whatever it is that you're trying to do with your life, check the reason why you're doing it, the why, the purpose. Because if it's not strong enough and not meaningful enough for you to have that type of preparation, whether it's 3 or 4 days before I hit record, if it's not that meaningful to you, then maybe that's not your why, maybe that's not your purpose, and it's really hard to be intentional in something that your heart's not in. Intentional living helps you to prioritize the things that are important to you. It enables you to prioritize your time, how you communicate, and also the lifestyle that you create around your purpose, the lifestyle that you create around your ambition, the lifestyle that you create around your desires. It opens up doors for you to feel fulfillment in what you do rather than feel pressured that you have to just do it, so I'll show up. It creates a framework where you can see the whole picture of the why you're doing it. And so sometimes, for example, going to the gym, a lot of people want to go to the gym. They want to get in great shape. But there are a lot of things that may stop them from going along the way. They may wake up feeling tired. That could have been prevented the night before, for example. They may make an excuse, there's going to be so much traffic and I don't have a lot of fuel. That could have been prevented, not the traffic as such, but the fuel prior. Or, my body's still sore from yesterday. Maybe that could have been prevented by better scheduling or stretching. And so a lot of the things that we do in our lives and a lot of excuses that we make are based on we're trying to jump into that thing without doing the prior thing. We haven't honored the whole process. And so I'll use writing a book for this example. A lot of people see my books and they see the end result. But they don't really get to see the full process, how I plan everything from the very beginning to the very end. And I treat each stage of the process as though it's the final out now. I honor every single step. And this really speaks to not taking shortcuts, because those small, tiny things can prevent you from getting the fullness of the experience. And if it's something you're passionate about, then it should never feel like an obligation. And so prioritizing what's important to you enables you to produce better results. And so in order to do this, you have to be able to slow down. You have to be able to look at your life in a very detailed way. And, I'm probably an overthinker and an overfeeler, and I look at things that most people do not even care about or think about, but it just shows how important those things are to me, because whether you see those details or not, they're still in there and they make the overall picture a lot better. And so in the case of, if there's an area in your life that you need to be more dedicated in or more focused in, and you want to feel better about it and not feel as though it's a chore, then fall in love with the small details of the whole thing, whether it's a project at school or work or university or your own healing journey. fall in love with the small things. The small things. So I go back to working out. And so someone who's making all of those excuses why not to go to the gym, maybe before you get to the gym part, it's about setting up a routine where, first of all, you're okay with waking up early in the morning, maybe having a healthier breakfast, maybe going for a walk, slowly easing yourself into it so you don't kind of tarnish such a beautiful goal with negative reasons not to do it from the beginning, because then it's kind of hard to fall in love with the process if you're already creating reasons why the process is miserable. And so my example of that this year was starting to do yoga and stretching and adding those things into my routine. I knew I wasn't quite ready yet to get back into hardcore training. And so I thought, let me try something I've never done before and slowly start to get in the flow of it until I start to feel myself fall in love with training again. Because you want to enjoy your life, you want to enjoy the things that you do. And so you can reframe how you view your life by slowing down and being more aware of the moment and the small things that you do, the small dominoes that hit the next one, that hit the next one, that start to create a chain and ultimately have a compound effect within your life. With slowing down, it allows you to be present in the moment, which allows you to appreciate the things that you probably normally overlook. Back to the art of noticing, it's when you notice your progress, it can fuel you and it can make you feel good about yourself, that you're doing the right things. And it allows you to live at a pace where you are aware of your life and your rhythms and your habits and the things that you just naturally do. And being aware and appreciative of your breath and your heart and your existence, your whole essence, there's no better place to be. Appreciation then kind of merges with gratitude, and when you live from a place of gratitude, every moment becomes everything, all that exists, and you can be content in that moment as opposed to rushing to the next thing. What's next on the to-do list? What's your next deadline? And just this living in pressure that you're being pulled from all sides and going absolutely nowhere. It's just, imagine for a second putting into your Google Maps like multiple destinations, and then just if there was a random button and it'll be confused, constantly taking turns and the wrong turns and redirecting. And I'm not saying we can have a straight road to wherever we're heading, but the random way is chaotic and probably will lead to disaster. When you are conscious of your journey and all of the individual moments, it feels like a 5-year plan condensed into one moment. And the reason for this is, it takes small changes to create a habit. And so the thing that you think will be the thing that you speak. And as you speak it, you start to believe it more. And you start to do things that align with what you're saying. Here's an example for you. If you're someone who says, I'm really bad with remembering names, in every single circumstance that you come into contact with other people and you're introduced to someone and they introduce themselves and they say their name, you've already created a reason not to remember their name. And they say, hi, my name's John. Nice to meet you, John. I'm Steve. I'm already blocking out John's name to the point where I've forgotten it already, but I've already told myself that I'm going to forget it. I've already said I'm bad at remembering names. And so you continue to reinforce those beliefs about yourself to the point where that's who you are always going to be. And so I believe you can change those. You can say the opposite. And I often do that. The things that I'm the weakest in, I celebrate and I say that they are my strengths, because I believe that I can reverse some of those things or align some of those things. Again, balance. And so a moment feeling like a 5-year plan, the things that you say and do today, the smallest details impact the next 5 years of your life. And so If you start going for a walk every day, every morning, where will you be 5 years from now? You know, what kind of life would that open you up to? Maybe you become a part of a walking community, which now introduces you to more people who think the way you think, or who live a similar type of lifestyle that you live, and now you've got this sense of community that maybe helps you in other areas of your life, your emotional health, your mental health, all because of one decision to walk. Instead of forcing yourself to go to the gym in your car or however you get there, and being in the traffic and it's chaotic, you decided to do something different that's still connected to health, and it potentially opens up a whole new world to you. Intentional living is finding the beauty in the simplest things and watching them all unfold as you put them all together, and it shapes a new lifestyle for you. So some of the key elements in my life: plants, music, my relationship with my phone, my relationship with technology, my relationships with people, my boundaries, the things that I allow, the things that I don't allow, they all come together to cultivate this type of lifestyle that helps me to do what I feel my purpose is. And I'm not just talking about work, how I treat people, family, friendships. It all comes from the core of who I am and the lifestyle that I've created. And that makes me a better person for not just myself, but for others too. You know, I can show up better when I feel good, when I feel rested, when I feel inspired. I can help someone's work, or I can take someone's work to another level because I have the clarity, I have the inspiration to do it because of the lifestyle and the small changes I'm making, the work that I'm doing. My own self-work impacts and benefits other people, and the same is true to you. I just touched on boundaries, such an interesting word. I think social media has kind of made the word boundaries feel quite combative and quite kind of like, you know, cut everybody out your life, don't cross my boundaries or else. It feels quite aggressive, but I see it quite opposite. I think it's more honoring your space, your emotional space, your mental space, and honoring your own time. And so I'm very, very protective over what I allow into my space, because remember, what I allow in, what you allow in, impacts your purpose, impacts your why, the reason you do it. And so I've kind of created this system that allows me to be able to analyze the people who are in my life often. And I ask myself a question, very simple question: does this connection drain me or nourish me? And if I'm unsure about the answer, it's probably on the draining side. When I hear this person's name, does it make me happy? Does it make me feel calm? Does it make me feel at ease? When I see their name come up on a text message, how does it make me feel? Do I think, oh no, not again, I have to now listen to this person offload for hours, or I'm gonna be drained? Like, being present and being intentional allows you to view your relationships, your friendships, and all the people who have access to you, all of the things that you do, the things you watch, consume, the things you eat. It allows you to be more mindful, and I think it's one of the highest forms of honoring yourself, to protect your peace. It's not just about cutting people off and locking yourself away. It's about allowing the good through, you know, the ones that nourish your soul, the ones that edify you, the ones that inspire you, the things that help you to live closer to the core of who you are. So at its foundations, I think intentional living is about creating a life that feels like it's yours, not one that feels like it's being, you know, dragged by the world or pulled this way, or, you know, to the point where you have to be so many different people that you don't even know who you are. It's a life that brings you home to yourself, and then you build from that place. You create friendships from that place. You apply for jobs from that place. You set your goals from that place, and as opposed to kind of being told this is the path you should take, this is what your parents expect from you, this is what society expects from you, someone like you is supposed to do this. No, you slow down to the point where you are left with yourself, and you learn who is that person, and you slowly learn to love that person, and then you build a life from that place, and that's living intentionally. The last analogy that I'd like to leave with you today is pottery. You know, imagine you are this potter and you are shaping your life into this bowl, whatever shape, and every now and again you take that bowl into the world and someone just puts a few dents in it, and then you bring it back and you try to shape it back and you try to put it back, and then the world is constantly trying to shape you, trying to mold you into something that you are not. And intentional living allows you to be protective of your masterpiece and allows you to invest the right amount of time into it and care and compassion, as opposed to saying, oh, just make another one or just get another one. Caring about the one that you are working on, caring about the life that you have, and not necessarily trying to shape a distorted one or one that's been damaged by someone else. And so my question for you is, are you the potter of your life? Are you the person who is shaping your life, or are you just the clay that you're allowing others to shape for you? So slowing down enables us to be more intentional, will help you and I to create the type of life that is aligned with our values and overall our purpose. I hope that you found this useful. I hope that you can start to incorporate new things into your life that bring you closer to who you are. Until next time, stay blessed, and I wish you better days. And remember, you are worth your own time.